The momentum is starting to shift in a big way for the Denver Broncos, and it's coming with some very welcome news. One of their most underrated defensive players is set to return, and his comeback could elevate an already elite unit to another level. This defense was already top tier last season, and now with the return of a key linebacker, plus the additions of Talanoa Hufanga and Dre Greenlaw, Denver's defense might just take off like a rocket. Meanwhile, the NFL ownership group is set to vote on two new rule changes that will directly impact the Broncos, not just this season, but potentially through the playoffs and beyond. And speaking of major moves, Sean Payton's draft decisions continue to prove he's building with precision, not luck. He clearly had a vision, and it's starting to take shape. Let's rewind to last season. Denver fans were holding their breath after losing Josie Jewell. The spotlight turned to Alex Singleton with questions swirling about whether Cody Barton could step up. Then, in week 3, Singleton tore his ACL, but somehow played most of the game on it. That kind of toughness is unreal. Cody Barton filled in and was solid, but nothing game-changing. His departure in the offseason? Not exactly a crushing loss. In fact, Barton's move to the Tennessee Titans was graded a C+ by local analysts. His Pro Football Focus grade last season? Just 63. Serviceable, sure, but he struggled in coverage, especially on wheel routes, where running backs frequently burned him. That instability at inside linebacker forced Denver to cycle through names. Justin Sternad got snaps. Quan Alexander even made a brief appearance before landing elsewhere. It was a rotating door of temporary solutions. But now, with Dre Greenlaw in the mix and Singleton returning, the Broncos are no longer patching holes. They're building something real. Last season, the Broncos were scraping together solutions at inside linebacker, bringing in players off the street just to fill gaps. But this offseason, it's a completely different story. Denver made a huge move by signing Dre Greenlaw, Pro Football Focus's top-ranked linebacker in free agency. Yes, even ranked higher than Zach Bond, who landed a massive deal to stay with the Eagles. Greenlaw, recovering from an Achilles injury 2 seasons ago, is finally back to form. In fact, Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch were so convinced of his potential that they flew out to his home in Texas just to bring him on board. They saw what he still had left during his late season snaps, and clearly it was enough to act. Just swapping Greenlaw in for Cody Barton is already a massive upgrade. And remember, this defense was already a top 3 unit without him, but it gets even better. Alex Singleton is returning. Broncos fans know what kind of motor Singleton brings to the field. He may not be officially cleared for 100% participation at training camp just yet, but in recent interviews he's made it clear he's coming back strong. He told reporters he's getting his helmet fitted, and fans will be very pleased with where he's at physically. That confidence, it's backed up by his past performance. This is the same guy who played an entire half of football on a torn ACL. That's grit you can't teach. At the Super Bowl media events, Singleton even said he felt ready to play then. So if he felt that good in February, there's every reason to believe he'll be ready to go in week 1. Let's talk production. Singleton racked up 177 tackles the last time he was fully healthy. Not just leading the Broncos, but ranking among the league's top tacklers. His PFF grade? A stellar 89.9. To put that in perspective, Denver is replacing Cody Barton's 63.0 PFF grade with Singleton's 89.9, and even better adding Greenlaw, who may be the best of the bunch. Bottom line, what was already a dominant defense just added 2 elite inside linebackers, and now has one of the deepest linebacker units in the AFC, and certainly in the AFC West. That's massive news for Broncos country. Think back to when Alex Singleton was healthy and making plays in the most crucial moments. Late in that season with Russell Wilson, when the Broncos were fighting for a playoff spot, Singleton was everywhere, exploding into the backfield for sacks, locking down in coverage, and making key plays that kept Denver in tight games. He wasn't just solid, he was versatile. You saw him blanket tight ends like Travis Kelce and hang tough in coverage against elite talent. Even in a tough outing against Miami, he showed up as a reliable run defender. His game tape proves it. Singleton isn't just a tackler, he's an all-around impact player. And it's not just about the stats. Singleton brings leadership that doesn't show up on the box score. After suffering a brutal knee injury, he could have headed straight back to Denver to begin rehab. Instead, he stayed with the team on a long East Coast road trip. He was on the sidelines, headset on, actively involved, still leading. That's the kind of presence you build a defense around. Even without Dre Greenlaw, Singleton's return alone would have been reason to celebrate. He's a major upgrade over Cody Barton and brings a mix of experience, toughness, and football IQ that few can match. So when people start talking about how dangerous this Broncos defense could be in 2025, let's be clear. Alex Singleton's return is a massive part of that equation. He's not just coming back, he's coming back as a top-tier linebacker. Now, switching gears, the NFL ownership group is preparing to vote on a few major rule changes, and one in particular could impact the Broncos directly. The first proposal, a ban on the tush-push quarterback sneak. It's become one of the league's most controversial plays. Some love it for the strategy, others criticize it for the injury risk. While it hasn't affected Denver much in the past, that's about to change. This season, the Broncos are scheduled to face the Eagles in Philadelphia, the very team that's perfected the play. Nobody wants to see a key player go down on a play that feels more like rugby than football. The tush push, while innovative, comes with serious injury concerns, and it's easy to imagine the frustration if a Bronco got hurt trying to stop it. Sure, we could throw in our punter from Australia to counter it, but let's be honest, this isn't what the game was meant to be. That's why many are hoping the NFL votes to ban the tush push. It's one of several rule proposals up for discussion this week, and we'll be keeping a close eye on the outcome. But there's another vote with even bigger implications for the Broncos, and that's the proposed change to playoff seeding. The AFC West remains one of the toughest divisions in the league. The only real contender for that title might be the NFC North, with teams like the Lions, Packers, Bears, and Vikings all looking competitive. But let's focus on the West, and a scenario Broncos fans know all too well. Let's say Denver finishes tied with the Chiefs, but loses the tiebreaker. Under the current rules, they drop to a wild card spot, likely the number 7 seed, simply because they didn't win the division. That's a steep drop for a team with a strong record. The new rule proposal would change that, allowing better records to receive higher seeds regardless of wildcard status. That would be huge for teams like the Broncos, especially in a year where the AFC could be stacked from top to bottom. Interestingly, Sean Payton has publicly opposed the change, which might sound strange at first until you realize it likely means one thing. He expects Denver to win the division outright. No need for fallback plans if you're gunning for first place. And honestly, after what the team accomplished last season, with a rookie quarterback, limited depth at linebacker, no dominant tight end, and no consistent 100-yard rusher, the ceiling this year looks even higher. That brings us to another key reason fans should be excited, R.J. Harvey. While other AFC West teams spent early draft picks on running backs, Sean Payton played it smart. He waited. He knew this was one of the deepest running back classes in NFL history, and he landed a guy he clearly believes in, without wasting premium draft capital. Teams like the Raiders and Chargers reached high for backs, but Payton found value. R.J. Harvey might not have been a first-round name, but he's the kind of player who can make teams regret overlooking him. At the NFL Rookie Premiere, where first-year players suit up for the first time, Harvey looked every bit the part, and if he plays like Payton expects, Denver may have just found one of the biggest steals in the draft. There's no doubt about it. Sean Payton is confident in R.J. Harvey. So confident, in fact, that he broke his usual social media silence to share a photo of Harvey with his daughter, who works in the fantasy football space. In the post, Payton tagged Harvey and dropped a rare public endorsement, saying something along the lines of, "When your daughter's a fan of your second-round pick, you know you made the right choice." That's not just coach talk. That's a clear sign that Payton sees Harvey as a core part of Denver's future, not just another rookie to develop slowly. And given Payton's track record with backs like Alvin Kamara and Reggie Bush, that belief holds weight. R.J. Harvey comes from a tough college program and faced real competition, arguably tougher than other highly touted backs like Ashton Jeanty. Physically, he measures up. Despite being an inch shorter, Harvey is comparable in build and athleticism, and he ran the drills while Jeanty skipped out on combine testing. Some fans and analysts called Harvey a small back, but side-by-side photos tell a different story. Payton saw through the noise, waited, and landed a player he believes can contribute immediately, all without burning a first-round pick like some AFC West rivals did. And here's the kicker. While other teams reached, Peyton strategically used his picks. Not only did he secure Harvey as a potential RB1B, but he also added a starting caliber slot corner who can line up inside or outside. Someone who could shut down receivers like Ladd McConkey this season. Put it all together, a top 3 defense is now getting Alex Singleton back, plus upgrades like Dre Greenlaw and Talanoa Hufanga. Add explosive rookies like Harvey, and suddenly this team doesn't just look competitive, it looks dangerous. This isn't just hype. The Broncos have the pieces to win the AFC West and make a deep playoff run. So if you're a fan, go ahead and clear your calendar for late January and February, because Denver football might still be rolling deep into winter.